let's get into the match. We've got Consulate for you guys. Starting things off, Rogue will be banning, and that means, of course, they will also be on defense.
So, I mean, because of the fact that Nomads are a bit more of a, how would you say it, unknown quantity in comparison to Rogue, it'll be fascinating to see what they prioritize here. I'd imagine some likely counter bans. I mean, Mav is a pretty good start. Lion banned out by Rogue. Mav being banned out by Nomads. That's just a sensible operator for this map.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Both of these bans. Maverick, less influential in my mind on this map in particular. I could see leaving Maverick on the table, but getting rid of him is going to allow you to play a few more angles. The thing to keep in mind with how Maverick is as a player, or sorry, as an operator, pardon me, is basically what he does is he makes it so your thought process in terms of angles is just completely ruined. All of it is just, it's gone. Out the non-existent anymore. In the past, it used to be a case where the way you could think about it going into a match was, okay, there's this doorway here, there's this angle here, there's this wall that's been opened up, this rotation that we have, and these are all the things in my immediate vicinity that I need to account for in terms of angle play and where I can be shot from. And even soft walls were something you had to consider as a possibility because of being marked through walls and just someone shooting you. You know, coordination is a real thing, especially at this level of play. But now with Maverick in play, what he does is effectively just throws all that out the window, and now you can be shot from anywhere at any time, no matter what. That puts more emphasis and stress on things like Valkyrie cams. Valkyrie being banned in this match is going to be important. Echo drones, Maestro cameras, bulletproof, just in general, information for the defenders becomes exceedingly relevant. And in a scenario where the attackers are allowed to brush up against the site before dealing with the roamers, it can be really troublesome, because usually if a roamer dies on a roam, he's going to get on cameras, right? If you have cameras for information in the proximity of a site, Maverick's in play, those dead roamers can call out that information. Now, usually you'll have players like Echo, players, for example, who will be in a position to gather that information even if they're not dead. But still, all I'm saying is that he is someone that forces a shift in the entirety of the meta, and that's why you'll see him banned on maps like Consulate, where he wouldn't be as relevant as, for example, a map like Clubhouse.
Thank you, sir.
What?
As a caster, I appreciate these moments where you can really dive in, and I try to give you your space to let you just go, because I think it's fascinating as a bystander, even though we are co-casters, but also for the rest of viewership, etc., to really get in depth as to why there is this much thought process behind why operators are banned. Well, and I was being genuine.
We just we had there was a space to explain the Maverick ban. Huh?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm agreeing with you. I think it was
Thanks, Parker.
an excellent. You're very welcome.
All right, so Nomads, they have a decent lineup here, and they're setting up to clear the top floor. They've already done that, actually. As you can see, Sour has taken control of the top of Yellow Stairs. And from here, he's going to isolate that using the Claymore, making it so if anyone tries to late flank, there will at least be prompting, if nothing else. Now, there are still roamers, I believe, in the middle floor, trying to hold on to this attack ever so slightly. And that's, yes, indeed going to be the Mira window placement inside a bathroom, trying to gather information and delay as long as possible. Eclipse going to be playing on that position using the mute, an optimal operator for this situation, where you can lay down those jammers, you can trick them if you need to if there's a Thatcher, but what he does not have is a Jaeger ADS. Glitch going to lay down the Candela and force the mute to fall back, but look at that, from below, Glitch has been downed, and Slash will get another kill! Why did the call not happen? Oh, a huge mistake by Nomads, and Slash will just sweep up 2 easy frags. The information should have gone from Glitch to Thomas. Hey, I was down to the pre-opened hole from below. Don't push. But it didn't happen. Rainbow will get the refrag, but the damage is done. And Nomads in a bad position now.
Eclipse eliminating Execration means that gap is going to continue to widen. Sour holding on to that LMG of Zofia. Now, not really that strange, especially given that we saw Shuttle running that LMG on Zofia on the same map just last week against the match, or in the match against Hyper.
Yeah.
I mean, LMGs have a place in the sense that, you can continuously lay down as much suppressing fire as you want. You have tons of bullets for, you know, those caliber-based destruction that needs to be done. Great angle here from the Maestro, as he's going to miss quite a bit of shots, actually, or the Eclipse, rather, not Maestro. My apologies. I was seeing the wrong color green when looking at Rainbow. Sour on the bottom of Spiral Stairs, and he's just going to try to find somebody. He sees one, but no! He can't capitalize in Super. Mr. 1.6, the athleticism and the poise. Super just, look at this. They line right up. Oh, my.
That was a feels bad right there. A terrible situation gone even worse for Nomads. Overall, the round did not look great, but oof, that just, oof. So, what happened there for Nomads? Ultimately, they got really distracted with the roamers in the middle floor. They also failed to isolate the top floor. While they did clear the entire top floor, they did not hold it for the entire round, allowing Rogue to push somebody through the Visa stairs to the top floor, get a flank on the main lobby, where they got the expression of Thermite, if I'm not mistaken. And apart from that, Slash got 2 very free kills as he was holding the push into the bathroom. The player in bathroom managed to fall back unscathed. Everything went wrong for Nomads when they came into contact with that middle floor, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Eventually, they managed to stop the bleeding and start pushing their players downstairs, but it was too little, too late, and Rogue had the round well in hand.
Would you say well in hand, though? Because, I mean, it all hinged on Super.
Yeah, I would. I do think that they had that really in their control. All of what I just talked about in that middle floor to bottom floor transition from Nomads, I didn't even touch on the fact that Nomads had yet to open up the garage. What was going on there? There was no pressure outside. They had a Thermite, but he wasn't playing outside garage. He wasn't waiting for his opportunity. It seemed like they were trying to get the batteries opened up, but they couldn't do that. Everything went wrong for Nomads when they came into contact with the middle floor, and they couldn't get to step number 2 of their strategy, which was open garage, push in and plant. Even if that wasn't their strategy, you want to open garage to open up lines of sight to cut off rotation. Even if you're trying to plant somewhere else, it doesn't matter. It's just it's a default part of any attack strategy onto the basement. So yeah, I think that was well in hand for Rogue.
Sour with that LMG yet again. I was talking earlier about the caliber-based destruction that you have for people that don't know when we say caliber-based destruction, because there is actually quite a surprising amount of viewers who don't exactly understand some certain ways that we say things. Caliber-based destruction is just simply using your bullets from your gun to open up walls. Now, unless it's a shotgun, you likely will have issues with the studs in the walls. I'm not going to make another studs joke because I've already hit my studs quota for the week. But typically your caliber-based destruction is going to be to open up floors, to open up lines of sight, to open up angles, etc. And maybe not be able to allow the rest of your team to traverse through it. You usually need some form of soft destruction or a shotgun there, but it'll at least allow you to see through it. So that LMG is really proficient at being able to open up huge parts of walls because you have so many bullets at your disposal. Even now, Sour has not reloaded, and he's sitting at 89 bullets. Repelled up on yellow as he knows that there's somebody up there. The Jaeger of Shuttle is playing a very, very close game by the window, and Sour, if he launches in a concussive blast, will likely figure that out. Down at the bottom of the stairs, Thomas from Nomads also trying to figure out where exactly the members of Rogue are, and look at that! Eclipse will miss quite a bit of shots, but end up tagging Thomas for about 50% as Eclipse and the Buck will both walk away with the same amount of HP. Eclipse almost missing again, but will finally get it, and a sigh of relief will get breathed out from Rogue, and Slash gets down to Glitch as he expends at least 1 Candela to do that. That's a good trade.
Rainbow will shut down Eclipse downstairs. Great job for him getting that refrag. And Super will fall off of the fight entirely. He's still got a C4, can still play downstairs, but Nomads have actually achieved control of this round. Quite spectacular in there. They just lost it, just like that. Nice kill for Easily and Shuttle. Shuttle's still in a power position on these yellow stairs, and X-Creation watching the entirely wrong angle. Sour starts coming up the yellow stairs too, but Shuttle's been playing this perfectly, and he is going to down the Zofia. The round is over. Rogue take it 2-1 or 2-0 their favor. There's just so many things that went wrong for Nomads, again, in that round. It all started with the trepidation of the Buck. As he was pushing out of the yellow stairs, he could have, at any point, peeked into Piano and killed Eclipse, who was focused on other things. He was completely distracted. But instead, he just waited on the angle. He waited and got peeked.
To be fair, the reason why he had that trepidation was because you had the Zofia hanging on rappel, and as Sour is feeding that information to the Buck, he has to be wary of, yeah, there's probably somebody in piano, but you know that there's a Jaeger on yellow stairs. Where is he? And I don't think Sour knew the exact location. I think he expected him to be in the corner at the top of the stairs, but you make that wrong call and that Buck is dead no matter what. I think that's where the trepidation came from.
But see, that's what I would cite as a source for the opposite of, you know, the confidence, the ability to know that I can push this because I have a teammate supporting me from the flank, I have the information coming in. That, in my mind, screams, seize the opportunity. Now, maybe it's just me, but yeah, I think there was an opportunity wasted there. All said, though, either way, that was not the only thing that went wrong for Nomads. They put a lot of emphasis on those yellow stairs, and clearly Eclipse was just able to hold it down. In fact, my mistake, not Eclipse, Shuttle was able to hold it down quite fiercely as he was just playing with probably the perfect operator for that scenario. You know, you've got a couple operators that can hold the yellow stairs well. One of them is Ella, as an example. You've got Jaeger, who's great. Clash can do a lot of work there. Maybe not hold it by herself, but she can do a lot of work there and can enable that. Smoke is excellent for that role. What do these operators have in common? They either have guns that are great for close range engagements, or they have just great guns. Either way, a good operator to put in that position. Shuttle played it perfectly. Rogue took the round because of that yellow stairs control. That was the main thing for them. Now they're going to be going to the middle floor, it seems, because they have been successful on the bottom and the top. And they are now going to be much more comfortable, even if they lose this round, because they've got that lead of 2-0.
Rogue overall looking quite sharp. Dare I even say a little bit sharper than their matchup against Hyper. Could have been Hyper's unpredictability, or could have been Rogue coming into it, I think, underestimating their opponents.
Bomb located by attackers.
As you touched upon, I think correctly, when you're going up against a team that is a lesser known quantity, aka you don't play them every week, you don't scrim them every week, you don't really know the rhythm, you don't really know their style. So it makes it a little bit harder for you to necessarily match up against them. And that could be what's happening here with Nomads, though. Rogue has been winning a lot of their gunfights. I said that even after pointing a finger at Eclipse, missing a lot of bullets downstairs inside a piano on that Buck. Nomads being able to encircle this this upstairs hold very, very fast. Now, by garage and console office being used, this bomb site's going to be on the main floor. A double kill from Rogue as both Slash and Easily, the two anchors, take out Glitch and Rainbow. And then another kill from Slash, but he's going to miss it. There's a Claymore down, and he's going to go for the smoke, and he will secure the frag. Nomads has taken Super out, and the Pulse is off the board. It's going to leave just the Hibana and the Buck left. And the Hibana's going to put in some good work, and will need to do even more, but vaulting in through the window, Easily just anchors himself down and shreds Execration after a fine display of agility. That's 3-0 for Rogue, and I gotta think, Nomads here is probably trying to go very aggressive to maybe catch Rogue off guard. Maybe they've done some counter-stratting and they happen to notice that Rogue is a bit of a slow starter. Maybe Rogue is still setting up a minute into the round, 30 seconds into the round, 20 seconds into the round. Ultimately, if this is going to be their strategy, it's not going to work out because Rogue barely broke a sweat in that round in particular, whereas the first two were a little bit closer.
Here's the thing. With the way that Rogue is playing, it seems like, yes, they're getting their full setup done. First of all, they're being very thorough. I'm going to throw that out there. Great job to Rogue, not underestimating their opponents. However, the way that Nomad's trying to play by, getting a little bit aggressive, trying to find those openings, isn't going to work because Rogue is doing light setups, or so it seems. Well, they're fully fleshing out their bomb sites. They're also not getting too invested if they're feeling pressured. If they start getting attacked from somewhere, they're just, yeah, hey, I'm going to point my gun in that direction and I'll be fine. So that idea, that process is not going to work for Nomads if they keep trying to use it. Now, they're going to get to go back to an attack on the basement, and they know how Rogue chooses to defend this basement. They know the setup overall, and because of that, they can play to counter it. The mistake that Nomads made last time they went here was that they did not open the garage. Everything aside, they did not open the garage. Now, the reason it was so hard for them to open the garage last time, if I'm not mistaken, they did not have a Thatcher. And the lack of a Thatcher means it's hard to get past the Bandit and the Mute Jammers, because they are abundant. This time they have chosen to bring him, instead of trying to clear out the entire top and middle floor. So they don't have to rely on piano control in order to get those Bandit batteries or Mute Jammers. They can simply lay down an EMP and thermite the wall open. That's going to be so much better for Nomads if they can pull it off, though Shuttle is good at bandit tricking, so we could still go either way.
I mean, the one thing I gotta say is that I've watched Nomads a lot. I've seen them come through other cursory leagues. I've seen them play in other events, and this is not the Nomads that typically shows up. I don't know if it's a combination of, I mean, maybe for some of them, it's late. I don't know. Maybe for some of them, they're not as prepared. Maybe they're off their game. But my overarching point is that this is a Nomads that is showing far more weaknesses than I've usually used to see from these players. And those weaknesses are going to continue. Thomas gets absolutely annihilated by a C4 as he's upstairs in connector.
No, that's not a great start. A pre-placed, or well, actually no, it might have just been a toss C4 to be honest, but either way, a C4 is a C4, and the damage is done. We've been seeing a lot more of those types of C4, predicting the entry point of your opponents and just placing them. It takes so little VOD review to understand where your opponent is going to come from on any map, and predict, just place a C4 and be ready for it. It is incredibly easy to do, and more teams are starting to figure that out. That aside, I mean, you don't need Valkyrie cams. You just need to wait for the opportunity, wait for the sound, and Eclipse made it work there. Now, setup from Rogue, continuing to stifle the Nomads' attack. This is the same thing that they did in the previous attempt on this basement hold. And just like the previous attempt on the basement hold, as soon as Eclipse feels pressured, even a little bit, he falls right on back. Super will be shut down as he attempts to flank. Sour, great play there to get that kill. You can see that Eclipse is playing by the Zone Machine. This is a very dangerous position, but he makes it work. Execration goes down, and Rogue extend their lead just ever so slightly. Eclipse did eat a lot of damage, though, in that fight, so he will very likely need to be reset as Nomads start to open up these angles. Now, I didn't quite catch if the garage had been opened up, but the thermite is dead, which means if it's not open, there you go. Panel number 3 and a little bit of panel number 2 has been opened up. That's good control for Nomads. And the fact that Rainbow has just gotten Eclipse, even better.
And I mean, Eclipse didn't really have that much left. Probably would have been more detrimental if another operator had possibly gone down, but that's still, that's tough. I mean, he'd already used his C4 earlier on, so it's not like he still has that available to him. Shuttle goes for a pre-fire. He's going to drop one. There's a second body there. Can they get past Shuttle? No! Shuttle's going to walk away from it with a double kill and easily finishing things off. Rogue just at the moment on a tear, 4-0. What a play from Shuttle on those stairs, and then off-site, the Mira pushing up. Rogue just right now unkillable.
I got to point a finger at something in particular when it comes to that Shuttle play on the yellow stairs. What we just saw from him, the back and forth thing looks really cool. It worked out well. It shouldn't work. It was a bad play. It should have gotten shut down. A simple pre-fire, and that's just done. It's done. It's over. Like as soon as you make your first peek, if they address the angle, then the follow-up, and they keep pre-firing it, then that should go the way of the attackers 9 times out of 10. The fact that he was allowed to do that rests solely on the shoulders of the Nomads players. So a little bit of mistake there. Great job to Shuttle holding those yellow stairs, though. He did his job. That's the most important thing. And Nomads didn't have the right tools to account for that. Now, 4-0, like you talked about, untouchable. Looks like Rogue. It just complete dominance here. Nomads struggling to get anything going in their favor. They're going to have to go to an attack of the top floor. You see now Rogue going once more. Because they've been winning every single one of their defenses, they've just been going in a circle with these site selections. And they have also chosen to avoid the new site. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, we've been seeing that a lot. A lot of teams just not feeling it. It's a kind of a 50-50 split, though, I feel right now in the community. And it seems like it's working like a new map. Every time with the new content, whether it's an adjustment to a site or a map or an entirely new map, there's always like half of the teams are like, nah, I don't want to play with that. And then the other half are like, yeah, this is great. So easily, spawn peak. I'm not going to say that that is like a predictable spawn peak, but it's probably one of the most common in Siege. So the fact that it was not accounted for leaves something to be desired.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a Ying too that you just lost. The only thing that probably could have been worse was losing the Hibana, because that would have been your sole hard breacher, though, I mean, Hibana is not a requirement on Consulate, as we've seen before.
Right.
But, I mean, Ying is definitely an operator who can just absolutely cut right through a site. Cut off rotates. She can absolutely stun everybody in there, and the fact that you're not probably going to be moving when you're totally blind, and depending on the way that you use those Candelas, you can probably guarantee at least 1 or 2 kills. A pair of grenades will get tossed down here, and Shuttle will lose about 60 HP as he tries to... He's going to try to Jaeger trick, actually. He's going to put down those ADSs and continue to ADS juggle. But you've got 3 guns that are going to be looking for him with a lot of fervor. And Glitch, in Sour, as well as Thomas. But they fall off, Slash eliminating Thomas. That's the Buck that was playing on Repel, similar to Glitch. He was playing over top of the skylight there. And Glitch and Sour are the 2 that were on Repel. They're going to rotate because they realize that, well, they're not making any progress or headway where they need to. And Rogue is just feasting on Nomads right now. Eclipse takes to the fight on the bottom of Yellow Stairs, and now Shuttle also looking for another fight, as Execration and Glitch will have to do a lot of heavy lifting in a 2v5. Time is on the side at the moment of the attackers. They have an opportunity to make a comeback, but it's going to have to happen somewhat quickly.
I don't mean to be the doomsayer, but it certainly looks like Nomads is about to meet theirs. And Rogue are just peeking everything, getting kills by doing it. These are things that should not work. Excretion's going to get the first kill for his team, and Eclipse will go down. So this is still salvageable, in theory, but tall task. Tall task. He's going to move his way over to the spiral stairs. It's a good position to do some damage. Looks like he's going to be meeting Easily, who might be playing by the long distance. No, it's actually, pardon me, Slash inside of A. And he will be the first one to get into contact with the Hibana. A nice peek there, but poorly timed. Excretion wins the fight. Choosing not to reload his primary weapon, though, he will peek into Easily, who kills him with relative ease. Glitch now the final attacker. And as he comes up the spiral, he's going to give away his position. And oh, wow. Okay, position given away. Easily will come off the angle and reassess from the connector.
Oh.
Glitch lands the shot. It's a 2 versus 1. This is totally doable. He drops the diffuser, though, or fails to pick it up. And as he moves into connector, he's not going to have time to do anything anyway. So the round's over. Nice clutch from Shuttle. And 5-0 Rogue on the first half.
What an impressive series here for Rogue, at least for the time being. Shuttle in particular just seems to be playing out of his mind.
Absolutely.
And now we'll move to attack, which Rogue looked pretty good on in the last sample size we saw in USN against Hyper. And I have no doubt that this will go Rogue's way. I mean, there's still lots of ground to go, but you're asking Nomads to now string 5 rounds in a row. Really tough to do.
Yeah, I think we're going to be moving to map 2 soon.
Looking at the way that this game has played out so far, this is a Herculean task. You know, if we looked at the Cloud9 Obey matchup when it was 4-1 for C9, and we said, yeah, this is going to be really hard for Obey to do. This is going to be even harder for Nomads to do because you have to go perfect over a stretch. It's not easy to go perfect over a stretch. We don't see it all that often at all. Doesn't matter how mismatched a team may be. Doesn't matter how practiced a team may be. Doesn't have anything to do with how new a team may be. You just don't really see it. It's usually an anomaly. So having it happen once already with Rogue, asking it to get repeated, yeah, that's probably without, not within reach. So we have Coastline up next, which is Rogue's map.
Yep.
That'll be interesting to watch. For this attack on Consulate, I think the big focus is going to be if Rogue gets a little bit too aggressive and they bite off more than they can chew, it's easy for the defenders to just gun them down as they enter if Rogue doesn't prepare themselves for gun battles. And I mean, you've got on Nomads a lot of good shots. So this is something that will definitely bode well for them on defense, even if, as I said, it's a Herculean task.
Question is, can they pull it off? They will go to the middle floor to attempt it. It's going to be tough, that's for sure. Middle floor, curious choice as the potentially final defense. You know, being on match point, you would expect something top floor, bottom floor. These are the more standard sides. Middle floor, just yeah, technically just as standard in terms of how much people like to play it. But yeah, it just seems like it's not where you want to go for something to be rock solid on your defense. But we'll see if Nomads can do it. They have already lost some HP on Glitch for whatever reason. Doesn't seem like any engagements have actually happened. Maybe taking some team damage, well, whatever the case. Potentially easily putting a bullet into his side from the connector window. And he will also put a bullet into the head of Thomas. So good kill for Easily. Good start. And a second one for Super. The aggression for Nomads really not paying off so far. Also some missed reinforcements. That wall that was open in connector that allowed Easily to get that kill, that should be reinforced if you're going to play inside a CEO corner. That was a huge mistake for Nomads. They've also lost half the HP of the Bandit, so Rogue really trying to push this to map number 2 with a 6-0, and they are very close to doing just that.
Yeah, they're closing in at this point on that feat, and crazy to think that Rogue was originally ineligible to compete in USN until the latest roster change, because they had a citizen of Canada as well as a citizen of Mexico.
Yep.
A very diverse roster by North American standards, but it would typically disqualify a team from USN. Picking up Super and Shuttle, of course, opened up the possibility for them to compete here, and Rogue has just absolutely terrorized every team en route. Downed as well as Execration, and only Sour and Rainbow are left. So Rogue will begin their execute. Sour will get siphoned off of the point inside of this Aqua Chamber. He's going to rely on Rainbow to get that kill as needed. Execration is bleeding out in a hurry and will likely be finished, and there goes Rainbow, just without a reach of Slash to his left. Can't see it because of the ACOG casing, and Sour puts two together, but Eclipse is there and says, no sir, no thank you. Final kill from Rogue. And that is a 6-0 victory in what was, I think, one of the fastest matches that we've probably seen here on USN.
Yeah, it wasn't just a 6-0, it was a 6-0 in dominant fashion. Very quick rounds for that whole match. Despite Rogue being on defense, they were getting very aggressive, just peeking outside, and they managed to make that work in their favor. It was a nice try from Nomads. They put up a fight, they put up an effort, but it just wasn't enough. The question is, will they be able to do it now as we transition to map number 2?
Oh, I mean, it's Rogue's map. But if the previous series between C9 and Obey is any indicator, then the answer could possibly be no.
Yeah.
You know, Obey came out of the gates, struggled a little bit on Consulate, found their footing, and took Cloud9's map